Thanks for joining us today. We're going to get started in just another minute here. Happy Wednesday. I think today is Wednesday. We've made it halfway through the week. I see some more coming in. Thanks for joining us, y'all. All right. We'll just jump right on in. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining me today on Wednesday midweek. Hopefully, you're having a good week so far and you have a lot to look forward to in the rest of the week. Today, we're going to be talking about the MBA launch application and going into an overview of how to submit a good application to the MBA launch program here at Forté. My name is Sarah Duerr. I'm the program manager on the early career team here at Forté. Here is some of the others on my team. Melissa is behind the scenes today, dropping wonderful questions or links in the chat. So stay tuned for that. If you are looking for some resources, Melissa will be dropping them there. Together, our team has over 20 years of experience at Forté, as well as nearly 30 years of experience in higher education, recruiting and admissions, particularly Ashley and I both spending most recent time before joining the team here at Forté with some of our partner schools, our MBA partner schools, working directly with MBA candidates in the full-time and part-time MBA space. So lots of expertise coming your way. We love this audience of kind of pre-MBA or early career, and we are super excited to support you on this journey that you're on. If you are new here to Forté or just hearing about us, welcome. I'm going to quickly dive into why Forté matters, the mission work that we're doing, and then we'll get into some of the other basics of the program. So Forté is a small nonprofit. We've been around for over 20 years. So we are working hard to change the balance of power in the workplace. We are doing this by way of a powerful alliance of influential companies, leading undergraduate and graduate business schools, talented women like yourself, and our pioneering donors that make all of our programming possible. Again, thanks for being here, joining our amazingly large and growing community of women rising in business. You might be asking, how do we help women reimagine what's possible? We are doing that by exploring endless career options, business, healthcare, and really any industry, helping you all accelerate your career. At this point, if you are here, I assume you know that an MBA can help do that for you, whether it's helping you change, pivot industry, or helping you move your career forward. We know and believe that by way of an MBA, we can get more women leading in business. We also have an option for financial support, really helping to break down the financial barriers that some consider when it comes to an MBA. So we'll learn a little bit more about that in the coming slides. You can view our website as well for more information. Melissa will be dropping a link to our Forté Fellowship. Again, that is helping break the financial barrier for students going into an MBA program. I mentioned that we team up with a bunch of leading graduate and undergraduate business schools. We have over 50 full-time MBA partners that support all of our programming and over 35 executive and professional MBA partners. So regardless of which program format you might be considering, or maybe you're not quite sure, we do have partners that support you, and they want to get to know you. They want to support you in this process. They want to hear from you. They want you to be future students at their program. Today's session, we're going to primarily dive into MBALaunch. This is a program, flagship program here at Forté on our pre-MBA team. Today, we're going to be talking about the live version or the cohort-based version of the program. We do have an on-demand version and perhaps an undergrad version as well for anyone who has not yet quite finished that undergraduate degree and is looking potentially at deferred MBA programs. Forté also offers forum events. Perhaps you have heard of these or maybe attended before. Amazing ways to discover the value of an MBA by connecting to our partner programs, networking with future peers, hearing from lovely admissions reps and alums on panels. We do have a few virtual events coming up soon. You are welcome to visit our website there, fortefoundation.org/forums, to register an event that makes sense for you. We do also offer general prep information or sessions and guidance, depending on where you are in your MBA prep process. You're welcome to scan this. We have some upcoming events helping you decide which format might be right for you. And this also serves as an archive of content we've done in the past. So there's lots of sessions we've previously done if you're looking for some insight onto preparing for final deadlines, financing your MBA, understanding the impact of an MBA, exploring non-US based programs. Again, you should be able to scan that, see upcoming events, and then watch previous events on demand or watch the recording of them. When it comes to MBA launch specific events, I would strongly encourage you to check out our AMA that we did with the MBALaunch team. Ashley, Melissa, and I hosted a session a few weeks ago. We answered a lot of frequently asked questions, a lot of good audience questions as well. So that will be a very insightful session. As well as then, if you wish to learn more about our curriculum, you are welcome to scan that and head over and watch the recording of our curriculum overview. But let's get to it now. High-level MBA launch, the program. You probably know this. Hopefully you know this. If you're here to learn about the application, hopefully you know a little bit about the program itself. MBA Launch is our flagship application prep program, providing you all with accountability, structure, and an amazing community of women that are going through this process together. Quickly, the curriculum can be broken down into 5 sections, really starting with some personal storytelling and some self-reflection, really digging deep into your why for starting this process. Moving forward, we'll get some admissions insights, some peek behind the curtain when it comes to the whole admissions process, what the adcoms are looking for, how to interact with them, diving deep into each application component. We will then shift to focusing on financing your MBA towards the end of the program. And then, of course, test prep is always optional for those that are participating in our program. These were our partners for 2024. We have a few additions for 2025. We are still solidifying all of those, but you can expect to hear from these experts throughout the duration of your time with us in launch. These are the folks that are giving you the tips and tricks and advice on all of the application components and building your story and writing essays that get you admitted and how to select references and things such as that. So we rely very heavily on these partners for their expertise. And because of them, we can offer such a great, robust program at such a highly subsidized price. There is an application fee for the program. I'll dive into this and I will make note now. Forté FAM25 is the promo code to take $20 off the application fee to MBA Launch program. I'll share this again later, but be sure you write it down. It's all caps, no spaces. Use it sooner rather than later in case you have trouble, then we can help you through that process. Don't wait until the 11th hour, please. For now, the program fee is $675. I would encourage you to apply as soon as possible. The program fee does increase on February 1st, so just be mindful of that. We do begin the program in less than a week, next Tuesday on February 4th, but don't let that stress you out. There is still time. We will get you updated. We are working to make decisions around the clock, so apply sooner rather than later. I'll get to that in a minute. The program itself is 8 months. So you would be applying to a program to spend time with us, our team, weekly from February through September of 2025. So ideally, if you are currently in the application process or looking to submit applications, the timing probably isn't going to match for you to be the best fit in our 2025 cohort, simply because by the time we start next week, or by the time even we finish, you'll be enrolling in the program. So it's designed that you spend 8 months with us from February through September to prepare you to submit competitive applications in a future application cohort. So we are the benefit, or one of the major perks of the program is once you satisfy all program requirements, you are eligible for application fee waivers for a future application cycle. So in this case, if you join the 2025 cohort, spend 8 months preparing for us before the application to MBA programs open, you would be eligible for waivers for this upcoming application cycle, so fall 2025, as if you're going to start a program in fall 2026, or application fee waivers for the fall 2026 cycle, as if you're going to start a program in fall of 2027. Hopefully that timeline makes sense. If you do have questions, you are welcome to use the Q&A feature. We'll jump into those towards the end of our session, but that would be the way. If there's something we can help you with or you need clarification, please don't hesitate to drop questions there. This is just a quick snapshot of last year's cohort. Similarly, this year, we are looking to build a cohort of individuals, as you can see, from a variety of different countries, different locations, a variety of different backgrounds, not just educationally, but also professionally. And so we really want our cohort to be as robust and diverse and productive for you as a unique individual. There is no right or wrong fit for our program. There is not some little box we expect you to fit in to be a good fit for our program. In fact, we encourage you to lean into the uniqueness that you have and that you're bringing to our cohort, and then we'll build on that for your MBA applications, because that's what the schools want. Okay. Diving into the application now, let me just double check to see if there are any questions I can. The program fee is, you have to, it changes on February 1st. So it depends if you apply so the question is, if you apply before February 1st, are you still going to incur the program fee increase? It's not, the increase is not based on the application timeline or your application deadline or when you submit your application. It's based on when you submit your payment. So if you want to take advantage of the savings and get the earlier price, I would suggest applying like today. I'll get to this in a minute, but our team is kind of reviewing around the clock on rolling. Once we review your components and your application, then we can get a decision. You can quickly submit the payment before the 1st. But if we don't work on the weekends, so, if you submit Friday afternoon, then we're going to not be able to get it back to you until Monday, which unfortunately would be after that deadline. So just be mindful of what that increase looks like. Great question. Okay, so the application itself is 2 parts. One part is a form. We are looking for general information about you, your MBA goals, your mission alignment, who you are, what you bring to the team, why you want an MBA, why you're here. And the second part is an application payment. I gave you a discount code earlier. I'll revisit that in just a few minutes when we get there. But our application is so easy compared to an MBA application. So you basically are just self-reporting information to us. We don't need your transcripts. We don't need your official test scores. We don't have letters of recommendation. It's just you being able to put information into a form and submit some stuff to us. So general information, who you are, where you're located, what your background is, where you went to school, what your GPA is, what your major is, test scores if you have them, not required. And your employment history. So self-reporting where you're working, you're going to share your resume and your LinkedIn with us. 2 different things. Please don't send us your resume twice or your LinkedIn profile twice. We want your actual professional resume and your LinkedIn. And then you're going to fill us in via essay on your MBA goals and your mission alignment. This essay can be a video essay or a written essay. The choice is totally yours. And then we also have the option for an additional information. So maybe you're like, gosh, I'm going to self-report my employment, but there's a gap that I'm self-conscious about in my resume. Let me give a little bit more context. Great. Perhaps maybe you applied to MBALaunch in the past and your plans changed. You didn't enroll or you didn't complete the program, and now you're back. You want to give us some context or some confidence in your abilities as a participant this time around. Maybe your GPA is not something that you're super proud of, and you want to explain to us that it was just 1 semester, or you were working 2 full-time jobs to support your family, or whatever the situation is. This is additional information and optional, totally up for you to decipher and to share with us. This is a little bit of the same thing. I mentioned the test scores, like I said, self-reported. We don't share them with anyone. So it's not like we're going to go to the school that you're applying to and be like, oh, this person had this score when they first started and now here's where they are. It's just internal for us to really keep track of what kind of test prep resources we need to have to successfully support all of the launchers. So it's nothing that you have to worry about being shared outside. And again, we don't need the official score report. It's just you self-reporting. As far as your employment, I mentioned this, we want your LinkedIn URL and your professional resume. please be sure they match, where there's some consistency. It will delay the application decision from our team if one says you're working and one says you aren't, or if one says you're working at ABC and one says you're working at XYZ, right? You want to be sure that those are consistent. So spend a little bit of time just double checking that. The bulk of the application will come from the essay in terms of your time commitment. So you can see there's three parts to the essay question. Tell us why you're looking to pursue an MBA. Hoping you've thought of that already before joining us today, that you are somewhat familiar of what your future holds or why you're looking for an MBA. How the launch program will help you meet your goals, whether it's the community, the accountability, the structure, the fee waivers, the discounts, the access, what have you. Let us know just kind of the features that you're most excited about. And then how you connect to Forté's mission of getting more women leading. Overall, set a timer for yourself. Do not spend more than 2 hours on this application. There should be plenty of time for you to submit it today or tomorrow to get a decision to still take advantage of the early bird enrollment fee, as long as everything is good to go in your application. But no more than 2 hours on this. We have about a 95% acceptance rate when it comes to the applications that come through. So we are looking to admit you. We know that by doing our program, our launchers and our participants are successful in the MBA application process, which then gets more seats, more women in MBA programs, which then helps us to reach our mission of getting more women leading. So we want to help you through this process. We know that our MBA launch program is an application prep program. So we don't expect your application to be MBA ready already. Just pay attention to details, but no more than 2 hours. We do have a 500-word limit on the essay, so please be sure that you stick to that. We don't need a full book. We just want you to answer these questions, and please be sure at the very least you do answer these questions here or address these topics. You can also record your video. Sometimes our participants find that to be a little bit easier. Maybe you've already had individual conversations over coffee with your friend or your mom or your grandma, aunt, a professional mentor, and you've talked about these things already. And maybe it's easier for you just to sit and record that. No special production features necessary. You can literally just sit in front of your camera the way I am today and record a 3-minute or less video to answer those questions. I mentioned the additional information section as well. Optional, you're welcome to take advantage of that. I see a question coming in. How important are the GPA and previous GRE scores? That is a great question. When it comes to our application, I would say there's no minimum and a test is not required. So brings up perfect transition to this slide. If you have a test score already, GMAT, GRE, or executive assessment, great. You'll be able to start the program with one requirement checked off, one thing behind you. If you don't have a test score, that's okay. We have lots of test prep resources, accountability schedules, practice timelines, discounts available for you to meet that requirement. Every launcher is required, whether it's a score from before the program or a score that you or test you attempt while in the program, is required to submit an official test score to us by July of 2025. This is before round one deadlines and early round deadlines. If you are looking to submit your application and you don't have a test score for us, then you likely won't have one for your application. So we just want to hold your feet to the fire, hold you accountable when it comes to this. The question, reverting back to how important is the GPA, it's again, just for us to understand kind of where you are and be sure that we have some content available in terms of how to mitigate that in your application or how to address it, how to understand undergrad GPA and involvement and how that plays a part in your MBA application. So it's just a data point for us, should not negatively impact your overall MBA launch application. Okay. So how are we going to share your information? This is really, really important. And the number one reason that you will miss out on the early bird discount or be able to enroll prior to the price increase. we have to be able to see the items that you've put together. We need to be able to read your resume, and we need to be able to review your professional essay. Read your essay, review your professional resume. So in the form of the application, it's basically an open text field, and it asks you for a URL. So put your essay, put your resume in something similar to a Google Doc or Box or some kind of shared platform, if you will, and give us access to view it. We don't need to read it, or we don't need to edit it. We're not going to make changes. We're not going to comment. We're not going to make suggestions. We just need to view it. So the best way to test this is copy the link, try to open it in an incognito browser, send it to a friend, make sure they can open it. If they can, chances are we can. So be sure that that is it. If we can't read it, we're going to request it. Then, you go back to the bottom of the list for reviews, and it could delay a decision on our end. So just please keep that in mind. When it comes to your LinkedIn URL, make sure it's the URL to your profile, not your feed. Just one thing, a note or kind of like a common faux pas that takes place as it relates to the LinkedIn URLs. I mentioned before this application discount code. Please use it sooner rather than later. Reach out to us if you have problems. As far as I know, it works great. No one's having any issues, but like I said, we typically don't work over the weekends. And so if you run into a problem on Friday, please expect a delay in response from us getting back to you. But if you're applying today to try to get that early bird enrollment, let us know if you have trouble. You should be fine. Application timeline. We are up for our final deadline, which is on February 2nd, which is Sunday? I don't know. This weekend. Anyway, it's after the deadline. So you are welcome to apply up until February 2nd. No, if you apply on February 1st or February 2nd, you will have the increased enrollment fee. Right now, our team, you can see releasing decisions on or before February 3rd. We are keeping an eye on those, working around the clock to make decisions sooner rather than later. We want you all to be eligible to take advantage of the enrollment fee as it is right now. We want you to get enrolled in the program, access to our resources, get some pre-program things checked off your list before we start the program officially on Tuesday. But just an overview kind of the timeline or where we are. If you did submit your application by January 12th in the previous round, you have a decision. This is just a reminder that your deadline is on Sunday. And again, before that price increase. If you have additional questions, I know there are some in the chat, so I'll turn over to there. Please, if you have questions, let us know in the Q&A. I am going to take those now. If you have something individual or you want to talk to us or you have issues, please email us at premba@fortefoundation.org or visit the website there. Melissa, thank you again for dropping all of those links and the discount codes in the chat. Greatly appreciate that. Okay, so questions here. Can I use the additional statement section to elaborate a section of my essay? You could, not necessary, really. I mean, we specifically are giving you a word limit because we want you to be concise in what it is that you're telling us. If it's something that you really, really feel needs elaborated on, absolutely, it's not going to hinder our decision. But just putting it out there that we feel it is proper and possible to answer those prompts sufficiently for our needs in this application process within the 500 word or the 3-minute limit. Are there still a considerable amount of spots left? Yes, we will take launchers through the final deadline. The good thing about our program and the way it is run, we don't have a physical number of seats that we cannot surpass. So yes, still operating on about a 95% acceptance rate throughout the duration of open enrollment for our program. Great question. if I am far ahead in my MBA application, schools have already been shortlisted, what options are available for me, especially concerning financing, as that is quite daunting. So anonymous, good question. There are folks in our program who are at various stages, some that just found out about an MBA and are like, heck no, I'm not going through this process by myself. There are some that have already tried to navigate the process by themselves and are like, whoa, boy, I need a little bit extra help or support here. So it really, the biggest factor is going to be what your actual timeline is for application submission. If you are far enough through your MBA applications, you've started them, you plan to submit them this cycle and start in fall 2025, our program likely isn't going to help you. Even our financing content that we get to won't be until summer-ish, late summer-ish, towards the end of the program. So resources that might be available to you are all of our pre-MBA sessions. If you can go back to like that calendar, watch previous sessions, our upcoming virtual forums will be really helpful for you because our partner schools will be there looking to engage with students who are currently applying or applying in the future. Forté Fellowship is something else to take a look at and ask partner schools about. To be clear on that, the fellowship is different from the launch program. So MBALaunch is prep program. You spend time with us prior to preparing your applications. Fellowship is something that the schools decide throughout the application process and support, and that's the support while you are an MBA student. So again, anonymous, good question. Short answer is there will be people in the cohort of 600, 700 women at all various spots in the application research selection process. If you are applying in this current cycle, most likely the timing is just a little bit off, but shoot us an email, happy to jump on a call and chat more about that. Will there be in-person opportunities for networking? Yes, absolutely. So our expectation and all of the requirements can be satisfied virtually, right? You saw the class profile. We have individuals coming from over 30 different countries participating in the program at one time. We do have several events throughout the course of the program, which are program requirements. First one being our symposium events, launch exclusive symposium events. Those take place in March. They are in 9 US cities and Toronto, and we also have 2 virtual options. So in New York, heavily populated city with our launchers. So yes, that would be one formal opportunity for in-person networking. The second will be our fall forum, which takes place in August. We'll be back to New York for that. That'll be kind of towards the end of your launch journey, but throughout launch, there's really great opportunities for you to organically create those networks and those connections, build your network, grow your connections. We will have a cohort-wide Slack channel or Slack community. And so you'll be matched not only with a peer group, so people generally in your area interested in the same program format, but you'll have access to all folks. So you're welcome. And often people say, hey, I'm in New York in this type of neighborhood. Anyone want to meet for coffee? Or some of our peer groups all happen to be in the same neighborhood. And so we're doing kind of like an every other week supper club kind of a thing. So lots of ways that our team, a few ways that our team is helping you connect, no limits on whether that's in person or virtual. So the biggest thing is you're going to get out of the program what you make of it in terms of your network and the content. So if you want in-person networking and you want to be meeting with folks regularly, there are others that want that as well, although that'll be something that kind of falls to your responsibility. Okay, anonymous, is there any way to extend the fee waivers 1 additional year if we don't end up applying? Unfortunately, we cannot. The live launchers, it's in our agreement with our partner schools. Ultimately, it's their decision to provide that, and they cover that cost. It's not like just wiped out, right? Someone has to pay for that application fee. And so the agreement is 2 application cycles. Most times, if there are unique circumstances, in which you are applying outside of that kind of 2-cycle window, our schools are really great about honoring that, but it would be their discretion and a conversation you would have with those partner schools at that particular time. All right. Well, again, I want to thank you for spending your time with us. I look forward to getting your application sooner rather than later, please. I would love to see a large spike in applications before the end of the day today so we could get you a quick turnaround on those decisions. Double check your access. If you do have questions, please let us know. Be sure you're utilizing that application fee waiver and pre-MBA at fortefoundation.org if there are questions that you have. But again, thank you for being here today, spending your time with us. And I look forward to the opportunity of seeing you all soon. Have a great day, everybody.